Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kurtivada. In this video, we will learn how to use our nested routes and how to configure our nested routes in Angular. And also we will see the layouting of our Angular applications, how to use multiple routelets in our application. Let me quickly jump into one more slide. Here I'll be explaining what we are doing over this video. The thing is, we will be creating two layouts for us. One is auth layout and one is admin layout, where the auth layout will not have any navigation bar and admin will have a navigation bar. And under admin, we have admin home component, admin profile component. Until under profile component, we have something called as change password, where the URL will be admin/profile/change password. Whereas the no navigation bar, that means whatever the components you are configuring like login and register, that will not have navigation, which comes under the auth layout. Whereas home, profile, change password, this contains a post login layout, that is nothing but admin layout, and it will have set of navigation bar. So this what we'll try to configure over here. Now let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code and create all these layouts for our sake. So let me go into Visual Studio Code. First thing is we need two layouts. For that sake, let me create one folder called as layouts, and inside this layouts let me create two components. So let me go into layouts, cd space src, and I want to go inside the layouts, and here I want to create ng generate component, and the component name is admin layout, and it is just a normal component, so it is not able to find the module because it is not having immediately after this layouts. So what I can do is I can just skip for now ng generate component, and the component name is admin, and I'll just skip the import, and later we'll import in our app module. So here we have admin component. Now let me create our auth component, auth, and hit enter. So it created the auth component. Let me inject them in our app component. Let me go into app.module.ts, and inside this we have two components, that is auth component and admin component. Save this. So we have app, auth, and admin component. So let me go here and see, here we have two layouts, and let me create one more thing, or just move these layouts inside our app so that it will be very easy for us. So yes, imports, I want to change the imports, and done. Save this. Now we are done with the auth and admin. Let me create one more thing called as views. So new folder and views, or you can just create it as a pages if you want, or views, anything is fine. So let me go here and create a new folder where my folder is admin folder, and let me create one more folder called as auth folder. So these are my two different folders. Whatever the components which are related to authentication, that means before login, that components I'll create inside our auth, and whenever I want to create something which are related to admin, I'll create inside the admin, and each and every component will try to make it as modular, and also we will try to focus on the lazy loading. So let me go into our cd dot dot, and let me go into our layouts, or let me go into views directly. So let me go into the views and create cd space auth. First we'll create two components, that is login and register. Ng generate, first I'll create a module, and the module name is login, and I want to have a routing for this because we are going to use lazy loading, and hit enter. Now we have created a login module, and if you see auth, we have login module, and in the same place I just want to use something called as component, and I want to skip the test files, skip hyphen tests, and hit enter. Skip hyphen tests and hyphen enter. So now we created our login component, and that has been injected into our login module. In the same way, let me create ng generate module, and the module name is register, and this should have the routing file again, and hit enter. Ng generate component, and the component name is register. We want to use skip hyphen test because I don't want to concentrate on the test files now. Hit enter. Now we have two modules, that is register module and also login module. If you see here, the login and the register are under auth. So we are done with the auth layout. So first we'll configure all our auth layout content. Let me go into app.component.html, and we have the router outlet over here, and let me remove this, save this. So let me go into our routing file, app routing, and inside this routing I don't want to use direct paths. For example, I have a path with an empty and I want to redirect, and the redirection is something like /admin/login. I want to go inside login and I want to give a path match which is full. So we are done with the default configuration of our path, and let me create one more path called as admin, and this admin is using a component, and the component is admin layout component or admin component. And inside these admins we need some set of routes. For example, inside the admin we need home and profile, and inside the auth we need some set of auth component. So let me create auth first, and let me use auth layout or auth component. Now let me use this as auth. So now inside this we have some set of children. Why we are saying children? Because it is inside auth. Without auth I don't want to access login. Without auth I don't want to access register. So for that sake we will be using something called as children component. So children is a set of array where its parent path will always point to auth. So let me go here and create a path for us with an objects path and empty where it should have a login. And if you use load children, I want to load this children component from our import, and I want to use dot slash view slash auth slash login slash login dot module, and this will give us a module with a promise based m implies m dot login module. So we are done with the login module configuration, but inside this module again we have one more routing. Let me go into that routing and configure our path again with a default path as empty, and the component is login component. So let me use login component. Save this. Now we are done with the login configurations. Let me go here and see. If you see here 4200, if I give default it went to auth slash login, but it is showing auth works but not the login works. Why? What's the problem here? Because now for this auth layout the main component is app component, but for our login component the child, it is a child for your auth. So that means we should have a router outlet inside your authentication component. Let me go into auth component and create one router outlet. Till now we learned only one router outlet, but now we are going with multiple router outlets. So let me use a router outlet here, save this. Now you can see auth works is an auth component and login works is a login component. When I go with register, then it will go into register works. Let me go here and go to your app routing, and inside this routing let me go with one more object called as path, and I want to go with register, and this register should contain a load children. Inside this we can use import and dot slash view slash auth slash register module, and we have a promise based m implies m dot register module. So we are done with the registration module configuration. Let me close this and save this. Now let me go into register, and inside the register let me go into routing and give the default path over here. Path is empty and the component is register component, and save this. Now you can go here and just navigate to register. You can see auth works is a common place, but register works is something which is like a placeholder depending on your URL. That means let me go into auth component .html, and instead of auth works what I'll do is I'll say that I have no navigation. That means you will not have any navigation whatever you are writing over here. That means whenever you go to register you will not see any navigation. Whenever you go to login you will see the login and not the navigation. So this is completely restricted to the non-navigation bar, whereas my admin layout will always depend on the navigation. So let me clear this off, close all. We are done with the auth navigations, and let me go into admin navigation. So for that sake let me go into our routing, that is app routing, but this time I don't want to use this. Now I want to go with admin. that is nothing but one more path. If you see here, we are done with the auth. Now we have one more part called as admin. These two are at the app level. So let me go here and create a path which is admin path, and the component is admin component, and we have something called as children for this. And what are the childrens we have? We have something called as a path where we have something like home, and we want a home component. Let's go and create our home component. Cd dot dot, and I want to go into admin layout or admin views, and I'll create ng generate home with a routing module. That is nothing but ng generate module home hyphen hyphen routing, and hit enter. We have created a routing module ng generate component, and the component name is home, and I want to skip the test files. Hit enter. Now it created the component in this particular module. And also we want something called as profile. Ng generate module, and the module name is profile, and we want to use routing, and hit enter. Now let me go here, ng generate component, and the name is profile, and I want to skip the test file. Skip tests, enter. Now inside my profile I have something called as change password. So my structure would be something like, inside the admin we have profile, inside the profile we need to have a change password. Let me go into profile, cd space profile, and I want to create a ng generate module, and the module name is change password, and hit routing. Now we got change password. Let me go into this component, ng generate component, and the component name is also same, change password hyphen hyphen skip hyphen tests, enter. So now it created our change password also, but this change password is inside profile. Until unless I go into profile, I should not see change password. For that sake, first is admin slash home. When we give admin slash home, it has to load my component, that is home component. Import, and the import will contain dot slash views slash admin slash home module, and dot, then with a module over here, and the module is home module, m dot home module, and done with the home module. Now let me go into home module routing and give the default path, and the path is empty, and the component is home component. So this home component will work only in the admin layout. For example, here we have admin layout. Inside this, whatever the route routlet or wherever we are writing the route routlet, at that particular place this home component will render, or all the childrens will render. Let me go into HTML file and create one route routlet. So we have three route routlets as of now. One is for admin, one is for auth, and one is for root component, that is app component. Let me go here and give something like admin slash home, and hit enter. Now you got admin works, but as per our knowledge, admin should have a navigation bar. So for that sake, let me go and create our navigation. Navigation comes here, navigation bar comes here. So whatever you are writing inside this, that will only affect the routes which are mentioned under this children, but not under this children. So this children will only render at this auth, this children will only render at admin. So let me go and create one more path for us, and the path is profile, and the profile contains a load children, and this load children will import something called as dot slash views slash admin slash profile module, and this has something called as m implies m dot profile module. And let me go into profile module and configure the default path over here. Go here and just use something called as a path, and inside this path I have something called as component, and that component is nothing but your profile component, and save this. Now let me use one more path for this. Actually we have something called as change password. Inside the profile we have change password. So for that sake, let me use a change password which is inside our profile. Without profile I can't access this change password. So inside this we have a component, and the component name is change password. But here there is one problem. Actually that should be inside our profile. So we can do two things. One is we can create a component here, or if you want, you can even create some set of components as a children, because I want to showcase the profile on the top, and below I want to change my password. So let me go here and use a path where the path is change hyphen password, and this password is having a module, so load children, and let me import our dot slash change password slash change password module dot then and m implies m dot change password module. That means it will be under your admin slash profile slash change password. Whatever you are seeing on the admin, you can see. Whatever you are seeing on the profile, you can see. Under that, you will be having this change password. Let me go into the profile component, and inside this, let me go into HTML. Now I am creating this as one more router outlet. Router hyphen outlet, and go here. So profile will come here. Profile will be here. That means this will be constant. Whenever you go with the profile slash change password, this will be common. If you want to go with profile slash some settings, then it will be common. So let me go to the browser and check that. Now I'm in home. Let me go with all the navigations. I will go with profile. You will be seeing only profile will work here along with the navigation. If you go with change password along with the profile, you will be seeing three components. One is navigation bar, and one is profile, and one is change password. Change hyphen password and hit enter. Now you are not able to see that. Let's see the path. Change hyphen password. So let me copy this, and okay, so let me go into the module, and we didn't configure the default route for our change password. So give empty, and the component is change password component, and hit enter. Save this. Now go here, you can see change password works, profile works, and navigation. If you go only with the profile, you will be seeing only profile, and inside this profile we can navigate to anything. And then we have something called as admin slash profile. So we have created everything in this way. Now let me go into our login and just create all the set of routes with program. So let me close this and go into our login component dot html and create one button over here where it will be something like navigate to home, and save this. Now let me use click event. I can use something like click event and navigate or home. I'll just use home and just copy this home component and go to your login and create a constructor where you will be getting a private router with router import. And now let me go here and create a home method. Inside this router dot navigate, I want to go into the home. So before going into home, I want to go into admin, and inside that admin I have home. Let me give semicolon. Now go here, you can go into our login auth slash login, hit enter. Now you can see a login, and I have no navigation bar here, and then I'm clicking on navigate to home. When I click on navigation to home, then it will remove this and remove this, and then it will show you only that home component. Let me go here along with the navigation. So here you can see navigation and home works. That means we are having a navigation bar over here. Let's create our navigation bar. Now what I'll do is, where this navigation exists, actually speaking, it is present in our admin. So if you go to admin.html, here is the navigation. So let's create a div, and inside this div let me create some set of button, and I'll be creating something called as profile. And whenever I click on this, that means I want to go into profile method, and let me copy the same thing and put it over as home, and this one I'll make it as home. So let me copy this home and go to your admin and create a constructor. Inside this constructor, let me give private router and the router service. Here we have home, and whenever the user clicks this dot router dot navigate off, I want to go into our home page. That means admin and home. So because home is a child of admin, in the same way, let me copy this and put it over here. We have something called as profile. Let me copy this and put it over here with admin slash profile. Save this and save this. Now we have one more thing called as logout, and let me use something called as logout here. Copy this and go to your admin and create a logout. This dot router dot navigate off auth, and inside auth I want to go into login. So let me save this. Now go here, we have three buttons. Let me click on home. We are already in home. Profile, we are in the profile, but you are not able to see the change password. I'll tell you why we are not able to see that. And when you click on logout, you are out of dashboard and you are going back to your login screen where you don't have navigation at all. Let me click on this and go to profile. Inside the profile, I want to show something like change password. So what I'll do is, profile itself has some navigation. Let me consider. So here we have something called as div, and inside this div I have something called as a button, and this button is something like change password. And in the same way, I'll just create one click event called as change password and save this. So whenever I click on this change password method, I need to call one method, and this method, it should navigate us to change password private. And inside this, we constructor, inside this we have a private router, and this has a router service, and we can use this dot router dot navigate of, I want to navigate to admin first, and inside that admin I have something called as profile. Inside that profile I want to go with change password. When the user clicks on this, it has to navigate to change password. Let me go here, and you are in the profile, you have change password. Let me click on this, you can see change password. For example, inside this itself you have one more thing like settings. So let me go and create our settings component, ng generate module, and the module name along with settings, we want a routing, and ng generate component called as settings, and I want to skip this test files, skip tests. Now we created a settings, and we'll be having that inside our profile. So let me go into profile and create one more route. So the route is something called as path, where the path is settings, and load children with import of, I want to go with dot slash, and the settings slash settings module dot then of m implies m dot settings module. So inside the settings module, again I'll create a route for us, which is a default route, and the path is empty, and the component is settings component. So to use this settings component, we need profile. So let me check that. Now we are in the change password. Instead of change password, I'll give settings. So it is not found. We didn't configure the not found route. So let me use admin slash profile slash settings, enter. So you can see setting works. So change password we have. In the same way, let me create one more thing called as settings. So let me go here and use settings and create this method over here. Go to the ts file, and inside this we have settings, and inside the settings this dot router dot navigate of admin comma profile comma, I want to go with settings. Save this. Now go here, you have two buttons. Let me save all, file and save all. Go here. Now you have change password, both the labels are same. Let me go here and change it to settings and save this. Now whenever I'm in the profile, only at that particular time you can see this change password and settings, but if you go to home you cannot see that. That means this change password and settings are the sub navigations only in the profile. When I click this, you are in change password. When I click this, it is in settings. By default it will be in the profile page. So let me go to home. Now home page, and this is something like change password and settings, and when I click on change password, this is one routlet. So that is how we can configure whole application. Let me summarize. It will be a bit confused, but this is the way which we generally use, so that you can segregate all the components and all the modules, and also you can create your own lazy loadings along with your sub navigations as well. So let's understand this. So now we have created something called as login. So this login is child of your auth. That means inside the auth, whatever you want to surround this components, that can be applicable. All the auth routes can be surrounded with a particular common code. For example, here I wrote I have no navigation bar, but if you go into register also, you will see the same thing. If you go to login also, you will see the same thing. Why? Because in your routing you have configured auth contains all these navigations. That is one point. When I go here, we have a admin layout, and this admin layout has one navigation and a common placeholder. So whenever there is a change with admin slash something, that will be shown here. And whenever I change to admin slash profile, profile will be shown here. That means home, profile and logout is a common navigation for your admin layout. When I go to profile, profile has its own layout. That means inside the admin layout, you have profile layout. Inside the profile layout, there is something called as router outlet. Here you can see one router outlet, and the same router outlet is used to render your components based on your navigations, and that will not change your admin layout. So admin layout, password layout, and then that password related stuff over here. So we saw that how they can be manipulated and how they can be configured. Now we'll see how the folder structure is. If you see here, it is very simple folder structure. You have views. Inside the views, you have admin views. All the admin related stuff configured over here. And you have auth related stuff configured over here. And inside the admin, we have profile. All the profile related components and the modules are configured inside this, so that it will be a sub module and sub routing for our application, and it makes our application very speed because every module is lazy loaded. But there is one problem over here. The problem is, for example, I'm in auth/login. Now the user is able to log in by using the route parameter like home. Now you can see without any authentication, I'm able to navigate to the dashboard or home page or any internal application or secured data which we are showing inside the route. But we need to restrict this route. That means until unless I log in, the person should not go into home, should not go into profile or change password or settings. Anything should not be accessed. That is called as authorization and authentication. So we are trying to use this authorization and authentication techniques to avoid this, that is going inside the routes without login, and only authorized routes can be accessed. That how we can configure. To learn that, we need to know about the guards and how to handle the guards and how to deactivate some set of routes and how to activate some set of routes. We'll discuss about this in the upcoming videos. So this is only concentrated on the layouting and also how to write all the sub routes and the routes whenever you want to use. And this also can be handled by standalone components as well. If you want, please comment in the below so that I can do in the standalone as well, but it will be mostly same. The only thing which change is only the configuration part or the routing part. But if you're really interested to know about it and if you want to experiment it, just ping in the comments. I'll just go with the explanation in my upcoming video. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.